2000 Torrance Armed Forces Day activity, I'm Specialist Gina Gelinardo.
And I'm Staff Sergeant Ken Scott. On this edition of Video Blade Magazine, a famous TV lawman earns a star from the Army.
A reserve soldier deploys to seek his roots.
And just what's behind that flaming blade worn by the 63rd RSC?
We'll tell you. These stories and more as we continue. A famous TV lawman recently met the Secretary of the Army to get a star for courage. Army Sergeant Richard Lee reports.
You are used to seeing James Arness wearing a silver star as Matt Dillon on Gunsmoke, one of the longest-running shows in television history. But recently, he got another star. The Department of Defense honored Arness with a Bronze Star for bravery he displayed on the beaches of Anzio during World War II.
It was the biggest thing that ever happened to me in my life, and I was very proud to have been in the Army. And I think that everybody who's in there serving now gets a great amount of gratitude from all the rest of us here at home. They're doing a marvelous job.
On hand for the occasion was Secretary of the Army Luis Caldera. He praised Arness and soldiers of his era for the sacrifices they made.
Well, we are very honored to be able to award Jim Arness the Bronze Star. He's thrilled millions of Americans as Marshal Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke. But even before that, he was a soldier. He did his duty on the beaches of Anzio in Italy, suffered a devastating wound leading a nighttime patrol there. And today we recognize that by awarding him the Bronze Star. And it's a thrill to say thank you to one of the members of the greatest generation, just as we should take time to say thank you to the soldiers who are serving today and a part of also a generation that is stepping forward and doing their duty to our country.
For Video Blade Magazine, I'm Army Sergeant Richard Lee.
Deployments can bring many experiences. For Specialist George Russo, it brought him a chance to explore his heritage. Army Sergeant Andy Yoshimura explains.
Yazdoja, Hungary, known for its agriculture and dairy farms, has a population of 2,300, a 200-year-old bridge, and a church that towers over the village. So what makes this little village so special? For Specialist George Dosa, it means a whole lot. This town is named after his great ancestor.
My great-great-great-grandfather, Doja Yuj, led the peasant revolt in 1514, and he was stopped by the barons and the nobles of the Hungarians. The reason he raised an army was to fight off the Turks. It was unsuccessful, so they killed him.
The Dosel family fled to the United States in the early 1900s. Almost a century later, he's the first to come back.
I had the sweaty palms. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who was going to be there, what they looked like, how big the village was. I mean, they treated you like family, and it was strange. And I never had anyone just come up and hug you and welcome you like that. It just seemed like you just came back from somewhere. The church was exquisite. I didn't feel I had enough. You could just sit there for hours and appreciate that church. It was beautiful. The family crest, the village crest, really, I mean, that's just something I'm really proud of. And if there's some way I'd like to show this to my parents as soon as possible, I described it to them. I want to describe it to them on the phone. My commander helped me with that, and Juliana helped me with that, and there was a lot of effort that I couldn't have done, and I don't think our family could have done by ourselves.
I think he's very fortunate for he and his family that he was able to go back and be able to be involved in this. A lot of people read about it and they study about it and they read genealogical records, but very few people can actually, for whatever quirk of fate, be able to go back where their family originally came from, and I think it's fantastic.
Well, the way it wraps it up, it gives it the little bow tie on top. It's the icing on the cake. I think that's the only thing that could make it better, is that all the Dosas can come over here and visit.
And it might happen in the year 2001. For Specialist Dosa, the 8-hour drive was worth every minute. For the 302nd MPAD, Yachts Doja, Hungary, Army Sergeant Andy Yoshimura.
You've made a commitment. That commitment is not only to yourself and your country, but also to your fellow soldiers. This is a commitment you can't break. Attend all drills and annual training as scheduled. Make up all excused absences. Don't slack off.
Military members and their families now have the power to purchase items from the PX online. Customers can sign up for an automated email service that will remind you of important dates such as holidays and birthdays. The site is updated every week. Since making its catalog available online, AAFES has surpassed their goal of achieving catalog business on the web. Total sales have increased by nearly 30% since the opening of the website in 1996. Online sales have done so well, AAFES was ranked 4th on Information Week's e-Business 100 list.
Captain B.T. Collins was one of many heroes in Vietnam. Army Staff Sergeant Joe Williams takes us on a tour of a dedication to this brave hero.
B.T. would have loved this. Ruffles and flourishes, the banner high, the troops arrayed, the anthem sung, the honor paid. Listen. Listen. B.T. speaks. I am among you.
Dedicated in the memory of Captain B.T. Collins, the Vietnam vet and public servant, the opening ceremonies of the Army's new Reserve Center marked the culmination of years of plans and community cooperation. Major General retired Robert Lame returned to witness the completion of his plans.
And it is just a gorgeous facility. I am so proud. I'm delighted that it has turned out to be the fine installation it is. It's going to be great for the people of the Sacramento area and for all of the part-time soldiers, Army, Navy, National Guard.
Not only is this one of the Army's newest reserve centers, but as project manager Sergeant Major Paul Salinas Jr. explains, there are several unique features here.
We have the only lodging facility in the Army inventory in the Reserve Center. We have the only full service dining facility in the inventory in the Reserve Center. And we have the only high-tech training, communications training regional center in a Reserve Center in the Army inventory. So there's a lot of onlys related to this particular facility.
Private First Class Rebecca King sums up the feelings of the troops that will be using the new center.
And now we have a great place to work, plenty of space, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm happy to be here.
Reporting from the B.T. Collins Reserve Center, for Video Blade Magazine, I'm Army Sergeant Joe Williams.
Reservists who need alterations to their uniforms don't need to go far for help. The 137th Quartermaster Unit of El Monte is near. Army Sergeant Babette Rushing reports.
Just when you think you have to make a trip to alterations, 137 Quartermaster Unit in El Monte comes to the rescue. They provide a much-needed service to the 63rd RSC, which is a blessing in disguise. For all your alteration needs, you don't have to come to them because they will come to you to perform their duties for free.
We have three facets of our unit. We're laundry, bath, and renovation. I'm the platoon sergeant of the renovation, and we have mobile baths and we have mobile laundry. And we go either to other units or other units come to us and we perform our quartermaster services. And today we're doing the renovation part.
The soldiers in the unit are thrilled to be part of the unit as they provide the soldiers with a great service.
I feel like I'm helping out soldiers. So, I mean, when they have to go to the cleaners, they have to pay for them. And it's just a hassle too. But if they go to our unit, or like we go to their unit, it saves them time and money.
I mean, when you have like 4 uniforms, and your rank changes, or your name tapes wear out and you need new name tags, or you switch, like I said, you switch units, you need a new unit patch, that can get costly. If you, like I said, you have 4 uniforms and 2 field jackets, that can get costly as far as taking it somewhere and getting it done.
People say that the best things in life are free. In this case, this also applies for the soldiers in the 63rd RSC. Reporting for Video Blade magazine, I'm Army Sergeant Babette Rushing.
Today's Army is a virtual melting pot of soldiers from all corners of the earth. We're more culturally diverse than ever before. To better understand the needs of its soldiers, the 63rd Reserve Support Command is stressing consideration in the need to communicate. Consider others. Respect your fellow soldiers.
The Company Team Leader Development Course aims to improve operations within reserve units. Army Staff Sergeant James Blaine has details.
Army Reserve Company commanders, first sergeants, and unit administrators came to March Air Reserve Base to attend the Company Team Leader Development Course, or CTLDC. This intense class exposes students to concepts and information where they must interact and learn to function as a team in problem-solving scenarios designed to improve operations within their units. Retention and accountability, soldier and unit readiness, and Army values are some of the scenarios played out during the course. The drill and ceremony culminates the CTLDC as a way of teaching Army values and instilling them into the unit, which has a tremendous effect on the readiness of the unit. This, according to the course instructor, Colonel Green.
Army values is really what binds the force together. That is something that is the glue that allows us to function as comrades, to be able to trust each other, and to be able to go into battle with resolve.
Some of the soldiers in attendance took time out to talk about the importance of the drill and ceremony exercise. First Sergeant King of the 319th Signal Battalion believes it benefits the soldiers in his unit.
Absolutely, because when the soldier comes, he wants to be able to go to that first formation. He wants it to be positive. He wants it to say that I am now a part of the military. This clicks a part in the brain, tells him I'm ready to flow.
First Sergeant Williams of the 185th Medical Company Dental Services admits that being a weekend warrior has its limits, but now has a better understanding of why it's important to practice D&C.
I think it's a must. Because we are reservists and we don't get to practice drill and ceremony enough, and you lose the aspects and the procedures to drill and ceremony.
Colonel Green emphasizes this point and explains D&C as a requirement for this course and should be a requirement of all reserve units.
Soldiers leave civilian life and enter into the military by way of the morning parade. It reorients them. They've been away from it usually for 30 days. They come back and they get themselves into the right frame of mind. They need to be able to make contact with something that they associate as being familiar with the military. The morning parade sets the tone for the day, gets people thinking in a military manner, and demonstrates the leadership capabilities of those who execute the formations.
With the course over, these soldiers will implement what they've learned and take it back to their units, where they can expect support from the IG and various members of the command group to follow up on the CTLDC training. The command group will monitor the utilization and progress of the training, and when they inspect these units, they can expect to see the morning parade performed correctly
and know these units are on their way to becoming proficient in company operations and drill and ceremony. Reporting for the Video Blade magazine, I'm Army Sergeant James Blaine.
Mommy, would you please belt me?
Daddy, I deserve to be belted. Mommy, I really need to be belted.
There's only one reason to belt your kids, and it's a very good reason.
Thanks, Mom.
Just what are the Army's core values? Well, how about loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage? Put it all together and it spells leadership. Leadership, the acronym for the Army's core values. Not just words to live by, but a way of life for those who defend our country.
TV's Major Dad, Gerald McRaney, shows his support of service members by visiting them while they serve their country. McRaney, who starred in the television shows Major Dad and Simon & Simon, visited Fort Myer, Virginia, and Arlington National Cemetery on March 29th. He was also presented with a prestigious award by General Henry Shelton. Shelton called McRaney a truly great American who has given up his time, his energy, and his talent for American young warriors.
The Department of the Army released its list of fiscal year 2000 reserve component, unit inactivations, and force structure changes. These changes are principally the result of the 1997 Quadrennial Defense Review recommendations to reduce 20,000 RC personnel by fiscal year 2000, in addition to force structure decisions that support Army wartime requirements. These reserve component inactivations do not include the force reduction of 25,000 deferred by the Secretary of Defense in December 1999. The fiscal year 2000 reserve component unit inactivations, when combined with ongoing unit activations and conversions, result in a net loss of 10,111 spaces in the Army National Guard and a net gain of 1,712 spaces in the Army Reserve.
Food inspectors of the 109th Medical Detachment play a vital role in protecting our health. Army Sergeant Linda Campsey reports.
The Army is the only branch of the military that have food inspectors. The 109th Medical Detachment of Stanton, California performs this duty. When asked what a food inspector means in civilian terms, Specialist Lozano states,
I'm the guy that goes to the supermarket, checks all the foods, makes sure it's palletized above ground to standard.
Some duties that food inspectors perform include checking water temperature, making certain that kitchen equipment is maintained and that everything is properly labeled. Food inspectors make sure the kitchen is in order, as Specialist Abello states.
I'm making sure that everything is in proper order as far as like cleanliness and cleaning procedures, making sure that the workers are properly equipped when handling the food.
Food inspectors are very detailed. Even the MREs are inspected, as Staff Sergeant Gomez Rango says.
Basically, when we get a product, let's say be it MREs, we will do a quality inspection, make sure we have a wholesome product, that the product is within government specifications, including the banding, the markings, the quality of the food. We'll actually weigh it to make sure we're getting the right quantity. So it's a very detailed inspection. We'll inspect everything down to hot sauce, the amount that we get, sugar weights, everything.
Soldiers of the 109th train at home station to prepare for overseas missions. Colonel Philo, the commander of the 109th, says,
the United States military does more than just fight wars, that we also provide services to the people themselves.
Reporting from Video Blade magazine, I'm Army Sergeant Linda Campsey.
The Army has been named executive agent in charge of planning the 50th anniversary of the Korean War commemoration. Ceremonies across the nation, as well as in the Republic of Korea, will take place from June 25th, 2000 to July 27th, 2003. The commemoration was authorized by Congress to honor and thank Korean War veterans and the families of those who died during the war. Congress authorized the Department of Defense to plan the commemoration, which in turn put the Army in charge.
For your information, alcohol was involved in nearly 41% of all car accidents over the last 2 years. In about 1/3 of all traffic fatalities, at least one driver or pedestrian had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.10 or greater. So please, if you're going to drink, don't drive. And if you do drink responsibly.
Many reserve units took part in the recent Northwind 2000 exercise, gaining valuable career and life experiences. Here's a report from the 302nd Mobile Public Affairs Detachment.
Soldiers of the Japanese 39th Regiment and the American 1st Battalion 14th Infantry Regiment participated in the opening ceremonies of Northwind 2000 at Camp Hirosaki, Japan. The event brought together the two forces in a snow-filled display of friendship.
We truly believe that by training hard and learning from each other, we will play a small part in continuing the outstanding and very valuable relationship between Japan and the United States.
The second day of training at Northwind 2000 brings the challenges of snowshoe training to the field. Soldiers of American Task Force 1st Battalion 14th Regiment and Japan's 9th Regiment use different snowshoes for different training, but units combined for some quick shuffling of feet.
So far what we've done is joint snowshoe training, the Japanese showing us how they use their snowshoes and the Americans showing the Japanese how we use our snowshoes.
The training at Northwind 2000 exercise gave both countries the chance to learn something new.
Reservists provided support in Exercise Northwind 2000. One component, the military police, enjoyed their activities with the natives and native forces.
We've learned a lot of the language. They've learned a little bit of ours. We've done a lot of gift presentations. It's a lot of fun just to sit and talk with them.
Overall, we get to do things here that we don't get to train on back at our unit.
The Reserve Public Affairs Detachment put their high-tech equipment to good use to complete their mission.
It's all kinds of things. Producing a field newspaper, it's video production, it's a varied job, all kinds of stuff.
In addition, the postal unit ensured the proper delivery of the mail.
We're here to support, give morale to the infantry soldiers for mailing packages or postage.
The biggest function of 35th here at this exercise is all the equipment that you see surrounding us back here. This all comes from our exercise warehouse.
No field exercise would be complete without some mock combat. Moving along assigned routes, the task force engaged in simulated assaults on enemy positions. The troops practiced communication and move-and-fire tactics, gaining the experience and training of cold weather combat. Troops attacked fortified enemy positions, facing the difficulties of terrain and machine gun fire. The training all supported the mission.
That was our mission, to destroy the enemy.
The task force earned priceless experience like this throughout the entire exercise.
We're just trying to make sure everybody stays supplied. We need to make sure they're all in the right uniform, make sure they get enough MREs, make sure the DFAC, every couple of days we take them a load of spoons, cups, plates, forks.
Throughout Exercise Northwind 2000, snowcats cleared the path for vehicles and transported troops and equipment. Using special equipment, the Golden Dragon's mission of the day is constructing a roadblock that corrals the enemy into an uncomfortable position. Japanese and American troops receive brief instructions on building the roadblock, then quickly unload the materials from the snowcat. The key here is teamwork. Concertina wire is heavy, requiring 3 people to separate. Translators ensure all soldiers know what to do when the enemy attacks.
We were nervous about the cold. We spent quite a bit of time just mentally preparing ourselves for this environment, recognizing that coming from Hawaii it was going to take a little bit of adjusting. But they're mentally prepared and they're doing fantastic.
As soldiers finish the first leg of the biathlon competition, they're pointed in the direction of the firing range. Still adjusting to their snowshoes, they climb up to the line. Once they hear commence fire, each soldier forgets about the snow and concentrates on the objective at hand.
I think the scores will show us that we do have a good bit of work to do shooting in the cold. Being from Hawaii, we don't get an opportunity to do that. As a matter of fact, most of these soldiers never had an opportunity to do that.
In the end, the Golden Dragons are satisfied that they have accomplished the mission, giving a high five for breathing accurate fire in the snow.
From time to time, reservists answer the call to help. Humanitarian missions take place both abroad and at home. Army Staff Sergeant Joe Williams reports on one.
Keeping the troops motivated is an essential part of being a leader.
Let's go, people!
Giving them direction is also in our job description.
Hey, we're going left over here, guys. Going to the next street.
This day, soldiers of the 484th Transportation Battalion found self-motivation and direction from the mission they had before them.
So I knew a chaplain with the National Guard who is also the director of the community center here. And I contacted him and he said, yeah, they do like to help the community, and once a year, or twice a year, they go around and clean up. And so I said, could we get involved with that? And
the good part about this isn't us, it's these kids taking pride in their community. I'm pretty surprised about that, you know.
According to Pastor Cristiano Ortigas, the neighborhood benefited with more than just cleaner streets.
The best part was one of the female soldiers talking to one of our troubled teenagers. They both talked to each other, but it was nice to see that. I think that interaction, I think the kids look up, the kids look up to the uniform, they love it. But I think today was probably one of the best things.
Helping others can be contagious. From a cleaner Phoenix neighborhood, for Video Blade Magazine, I'm Army Sergeant Joe Williams.
That's it for this edition of Video Blade Magazine. I'm Staff Sergeant Ken Scott.
And I'm Specialist Gina Gelinardo. Thanks for watching.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier.
I am an American soldier. I am a member of the United States Army, a protector of the greatest nation on earth. Because I am proud of the uniform I wear, I will always act in ways creditable to the military service and the nation it is sworn to guard.
I am proud of my own organization. I will do
all I can to make it the finest unit of the Army.
I will be loyal to those
under whom I serve. I will do my full part to carry out
orders and instructions given me or my unit.
As a soldier, I realize that I am a member of a time-honored profession, that I am doing my share to keep alive the principles of freedom for which my country stands.
No matter what situation I am in, I will never do anything for pleasure, profit, or personal safety which will disgrace my uniform, my unit, or my country.
I will use every means I have,
even beyond the line of duty,
to restrain my Army comrades from actions disgraceful to themselves and the uniform. I am proud of my country and its flag. I will try to make the people of this nation proud of the service I represent, for I am an American soldier.